Welcome to FTMO Performance Talks, the podcast about trading performance for serious traders.
You won't feel that anxious as when you would be comparing yourself to someone who's different in every single aspect. You know what? It kind of reminds me of that picture of that cute naturalistic rhino who's on a treadmill wishing to look like a unicorn. Do you know that one?
No, but I think it must have been funny.
Yeah, I mean, in 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Performance Talks. I'm Nelly.
And my name is Michael, and we are FTMO performance coaches.
And today's episode is all about a social impact, something you may consciously or unconsciously face in trading, especially when you trade alone or in trading groups. Expectations from others, comparison with others, fear of missing out, bad feelings, and more. So, if you are currently experiencing something similar, stay with us so you can find out more. Hi, Michael. How you've been doing? Any news in your life you'd like to share with us?
Well, any news? I need to admit you caught me off guard. I'm starting going to gym again, so we will see how it goes this time. What about you?
Oh, I believe that this time you'll stick with it. Good luck. Well, I'm great. Can't wait to chat with you again. It's been a while since our last episode, right? But let's get to our current topic, which is social impact. How would you approach it to our listeners? What can they expect?
I think that this is actually a very broad theme and goes throughout many different topics. But in general, when we say social impact, we mean everything what considers other people. In trading, we can see the impact of other persons in many different situations. And as you mentioned, some of them are visible at the first glance, and some may take some thinking before we realize them. Let's take the current topic of today's society, social media. If you open any website or lifestyle program, you can read how society is changing, how the relationships are changing. People don't prefer to have a face-to-face communication anymore.
Yeah.
And that the main culprit for this is social media. Social media where everyone presents his, I would like to say, the best version of self, but maybe it's more the desirable version of self, or the image I would like others to see. And since trading is a human thing, we can see those tendencies also on traders' profiles. Imagine that you are a trader and you have a trading profile. What type of content you would rather share with others if you could choose? Everything what happens in your trading, or you would pick some nice profitable trades? Would you share your losing streak or your mistakes?
Exactly. And this is actually one of the most common topics we discuss during sessions. And it actually even leads me back to our previous episode where we were talking about expectations, as this can be tightly connected. I mean, if you think about those high expectations a lot of traders tend to have, it all stems from those social media, which represents trading as that get rich quick scheme. People are sharing their winning streaks, they are silent about the losses, and build their businesses upon them. Of course, they want to present themselves as those profitable, disciplined traders, but sometimes they don't even earn that money from trading. So I would definitely recommend being careful about who you follow, who you watch, and who you put your trust into. Be extra cautious, guys. Evaluate everything properly before trusting anyone.
I totally agree with you. We know that this business is full of fake and it's very hard to find someone trustworthy.
But to get back to my sessions, when I'm working with our FTMO traders who are comparing themselves with such individuals or just with someone from their trading groups or to friends or whoever, I'm always trying to explain the basic, right? Which is we are all different, we are all unique. And even though that comparison is definitely beneficial sometimes, it can be also super harmful. You should mainly focus on yourself. These thoughts about someone else are just distracting you from your work. from yourself. So, guys, try to work on your own goals, try to improve your own flaws, and compare yourself only with who you were yesterday.
Mhm. I would also like to say that if you compare yourself to others, it doesn't mean that there is something wrong about you. It's a very human thing to do. Because if we wouldn't be comparing ourselves with others, then how we can find out if we are in norm or if we can consider ourselves as normal from statistical point of view, of course.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not comparing myself to others, I can't know how I stand. It's actually the only way one can realize that he is better or worse than others in something. For example, if I'm in school and I'm best in mathematics, I can say that I'm the best only because I have taken my results and I have compared it with the results of the others. And on the other hand, if I'm not the best, I can look around and see that there are more students like me who are at the similar level. And that can calm me down because it's not as bad as I thought. But the main issue is if I don't see this group of students and I only see the ones who are performing well, then I can get the idea that I'm the only one who is not performing well.
Yeah.
And the same thing is happening when I open any social media with trading profiles and see just perfect trades with big amounts of money and those beautiful never ending winning streaks. What do you think about it, Nelly?
Yeah, sure. If you have a look at that from this perspective, then of course, comparison is also beneficial to a certain level. As I mentioned before, the ones who are better can present inspiration and motivation to you as well. However, it is crucial to stay sort of objective while comparing, to stay aware that we are all unique. As I said before, we all have different gifts and talents. Some people can learn stuff very quickly and easily, but they can perhaps struggle with consistency. And there are others who struggle when it comes to learning. It takes them much longer, but they have that natural discipline and consistency, which they very often had to even develop as they had to work harder to learn something. So, as I said before, compare yourself mainly with who you were yesterday. Try to focus on your strengths, on your weaknesses. Use them to your benefit. You won't feel that anxious as then you would be comparing yourself to someone who's different in every single aspect. You know what? It kind of reminds me of that picture of that cute naturalistic rhino who's on a treadmill wishing to look like a unicorn. Do you know that one?
No, but I think it must have been funny.
Yeah, I mean, of course, pursue your goals. Use the ones who've been already at that place where you'd like to be as an inspiration, but really focus on yourself. Always think about where is that space for improvement when it comes to you. What can you do today so you can get closer to your goals? Don't let others to take your attention away from working on what you've been trying to pursue. Plus, at the end of the day, who does define your success? It is only you. You define your own success by setting those particular goals for yourself and achieving them. Achieving them your own unique way.
I really like what you are saying, Nelly, because we can't get rid of the habit of comparing. It's a human thing to do. And this is actually a nice trick on how one can overcome it. However, when we are talking about social impact on trading, the trading groups, one of the big hurdles in trading is, as we talked about in one of our previous episodes, is the feeling that you are alone in trading. And we were talking about how having a trading buddy or group helps you with this. Because then you have someone who can give you feedback or share other ideas with.
Indeed. I'd say that this can actually get back even to that comparison. It feels amazing to have someone who's driven in the same way as you are and who's on the same or similar part of this path. You can share your struggles, you can support each other, and you'll perhaps find it easier to remain emotionally stable than if you'd be totally alone in it. Um, and there are more benefits. I was, for example, working with one of our FTMO traders
Mm-hmm.
who used to change strategy every single time when he would experience a non-profitable month.
Wow.
Or just losing streak.
Mm-hmm.
And then he joined some trading group where he met his trading pal, who has been in trading for 15 years already. And he's been using one strategy for a really decent amount of time. He showed him the strategy and presented the precise statistics. Basically, he found out that the strategy is not profitable for 1 or 2 months per year. But those remaining 10 months, he would be always in a positive. Thanks to that, my mentioned client began to be consistent with this strategy. Of course, he had to make some tweaks and adjustments time from time. For example, his risk management. He had to slightly adjust it due to FTMO rules.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, but however, thanks to his trading friend, he was able to overcome that uncertainty during his losing streaks. So, this is my story about how beneficial it really might be to join some trading group. But I'm sure you'll agree that unfortunately, it can also bring a lot of disadvantages.
Yeah, this is something actually I wanted to point out because sharing trading experiences with a friend or a group of friends is beneficial. There is no doubt about it. But if you are a member of a group which trades the same strategy you do, it can bring other things which are quite dangerous for your trading. Imagine yourself not convinced about the trading setup, then you see your friends in a trade. What do you think will most probably happen?
The FOMO will hit for sure.
Yes, exactly. You can get the feeling that you are missing something and then you can jump into the trade. And for now, we can put aside if it is going to be a winner or loser. The most important thing in this situation is that you didn't want to be in that trade in the first place. And what got you in was the social impact of other people. So this might be one of the disadvantages of being in a trading community. Okay, this was an example of catching the bus situation. Another situation which can happen is that you are expecting a certain situation to happen. You and other traders identify the entry and you are waiting for the confirmation. Then you get it and you all jump in. There are different things which can happen in this scenario because you can start thinking, wow, it's so clear. We are all wrong and everyone sees it the same way. And these thoughts can lead to overconfidence with this trade. And we are again talking about the expectations, by the way. If I have such a strong expectation about the outcome of that trade, we already know where it can lead, right?
Yeah. Having such an expectation can be dangerous. And the same mentioned phenomenon, groupthink.
Mm-hmm.
Groupthink can cause people to ignore important information and can ultimately lead to poor decisions. That's why it is so important to evaluate everything individually. And even though you would all agree, still stay careful and don't forget about your risk management, about the lot size you'd normally be using. Because if you would base your decision exclusively on that one agreement, you could also hype each other to go for a higher volume, right?
Yeah, I think it can happen quite easily.
Because as you said, you'd be overconfident, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, but it is exactly that overconfidence that sometimes make us over leverage.
I'm not going to correct you. I totally agree with you on this.
Well, but regarding other social impacts, I'd also like to mention that pressure that might our family, friends, or just acquaintances create, especially when they're not in a trade-in. Having a supportive environment is crucial when you are trying to achieve anything, not only when it comes to trading.
Totally.
However, as trading can be very emotionally draining from time to time, it is extra important to have those folks around you who are supportive and understanding because you'll have to dedicate a lot of time to it, a lot of energy to it. And having those folks who actually believe you can do it is much more comfortable than if you are experiencing all that stress trying to build something, work hard, and on the top of it, you must also justify it to everyone.
Actually, having people supporting and trusting you can sometimes create I don't want or I can't disappoint you feeling. I remember one of my FTMO client who really wanted to succeed in trading and his family was very supportive. They also gave him some money so he could focus solely on trading. So he did. But in his head, it was always, I need to make the money fast so I can return it to my parents.
Yeah, well.
Which was again creeping into his mind while he was trading, and he was ending up pushing the trades and taking unnecessary setups. And what was interesting in this case, we were dealing with the expectations because the pressure was not real. The family was absolutely okay with him not making money and taking it long. It was just his own belief about the expectations of others.
That is so common. And here we go. Expectations again, right?
Yes, expectations.
So, yeah, for those of you who haven't heard our last episode, it was about the expectations which we have in trading. And I like what you just mentioned, Michael, that those expectations can be sometimes external. It can stem from our family, our friends. That case of your client is not actually the worst case scenario, right? He just put that pressure on himself because he was assuming that they have such an expectation, and so he felt like he must perform his best, or even better than best. However, your beloved ones can perhaps have some kind of bias regarding trading. Perhaps they may perceive it as getting rich quick scheme, or they perceive it as a scam, and that both may put that pressure on yourself again. You want to show them your results. You want to prove them that it is really working, and that might affect your discipline.
Yes, I think that this can quite easily happen, and then you get caught in your own ideas and thinking. So, Nelly, to sum it up, influence of other people plays a huge role in trading, whether it is being alone or trading in groups, or with or without a supportive environment. All have their own pros and cons, and it's important to be aware of those things because it's okay that those things have influence on our trading. I mean, it's a natural thing that those things have an impact on you and on your trading, but the real danger is when you don't know that they have such an impact, then you can't effectively protect from it.
Exactly. So please, guys, trade mindfully. Bring that awareness into all of your actions, into your plans, your expectations, your goals, and trading. Focus on yourself. And Michael, as always, thank you for sharing your insights today. It's always a pleasure to work with you, and I can't wait to our next episode.
Thank you, Nelly, as well. I'm enjoying our performance talks. So, goodbye, everyone, and trade safe.
This was FTMO Performance Talks. And for more, follow us on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, SoundCloud, and our YouTube channel.